Albie Sachs, quien fue designado por Nelson Mandela en 1994 como magistrado de la Corte Constitucional Sudafricana, estuvo en EAFIT para hablar de derechos económicos y sociales. Este reconocido activista por la democracia en su país habló del proceso transicional que se vive en Colombia.
It's happening. I met many people who are disappointed about certain aspects. They feel that there isn't full compliance with it. But the fact is, the war has stopped. The fact is that people have laid down their arms. The fact is there are people in the Senate now who were in the bush before. And the fact is that peace is being normalized for the first time in generations. Marquez wrote about 100 years of solitude, and we've had 60 years of la violencia. And Colombia has an opportunity now to really become itself. And what a country, in terms of the geography, that's amazing. You fly over it and you see the mountains and the rivers. You come from the hot Santa Marta, and you're a little bit cold in Bogota. It's got beautiful fruit, it's got great intellectuals, it's got so much that's so interesting. And Colombia now can emerge from a country that is seen as divided with violence everywhere, is seen as simply the place that producing drug lords and so on, into a country of people that have great energy, supreme intelligence, who've suffered a lot, who are very thoughtful, who are very deep, who understand pain, and who want to create a better future. Well, you know, during the course of the struggle, we would say, are we fighting for bread or are we fighting for freedom? And we said we're fighting for bread and for freedom. We don't want bread without freedom. We don't want freedom without bread. And that became very foundational to our whole constitutional order and to the work of the judges. It's not simply protecting freedom of speech, important though it is, the right to vote, fundamental, not protecting property from arbitrary deprivation by people grabbing property for themselves and their families and so on in government. But it's dealing with the mind that's educated can make choices, the body that is fed and protected from disease that people can make the choices. It's been very central and very meaningful in South Africa. I remember when we dealt with the case of Mrs. Grootboom that became famous internationally, one of 1,000 people lying out in the open, a sports field, nowhere to go. And we had to deal with her right of access to housing. And that was at the time, the height of the Washington consensus and the idea of the market solves all problems. And the people who were seen as the key litigators were political leaders, the presidents, powerful, maybe even labor union leaders and so on, and not the Mrs. Grootbooms lying out in the open with the children. And we are putting her at the center of our thinking, of our thought. That was at that stage, and since then we've developed the area quite a lot.